All right, I want to demonstrate using the jig to drill a hole. So this is an offcut I have from one of the seat blanks. Unfortunately, I've drilled out all my seat blanks. By the way, there will be a video showing me drilling out, utilizing the jig, a complete seat blank. This is kind of the end part of it, but I think this will be a good demonstration. Because it can show you how this can get into narrow areas. So this is your sight line right here, and then I have a all mark right there where that circle is, and that's where I want to drill my hole. So, and we're going to drill this at 16 degrees. So I simply bring my jig up here, grab my setup block, put it into place, and then I'm going to reference a sight line off the bottom edge of the setup block, and I simply move this to where I get to 16 degrees. Now, one thing I want you to notice is these lines slant in the direction you're going to drill. So if I come up here to 16 degrees, then what I want to do is kind of look down, make sure I am right on the line, and if not, just kind of tap it up into place. And I'm right on my mark. My setup block here is referenced against the sight line, so everything is set up the way it should be. So I can simply, excuse me in advance for stepping in front of the camera. So I can simply clamp this into place. As you can see, these runners give me ample opportunity to clamp this. Okay, so now I'm clamped into place. I can verify that nothing has moved, and nothing has moved. And I can take this away. Put my drill bit in my mark. Grab my drill and chuck it up. And drill away till I hit my stop. And that's it. And I can simply put it back in the parking lot and unclamp it, and then we'll move to the next hole. So it's just that simple. But let's figure out how we did here. So let me brush this away, clean out that hole a little bit. There we go. A little bit of sawdust in the mouth, never hurt anybody. And I think this should work. This is a 1/2-inch shaft. Make sure it's not too loose in here. No, that fits nice and securely. So I can set up the setup block here. Make sure it is zeroed out here. Okay. All right. Then let's hang this off of here and see how we did. Well, what do you know? That's reading right at 16 degrees. That is just how simple and accurate this jig is. Hey, I just wanted to go over something I left out of my last video and that is how to use the setup block when you are drilling in this direction. The setup block, as you may remember, has a little stop here. It's made to reference off the ends of the runner when you're drilling between the runners. So how do you use it when you're drilling outside the runners? Well, the easiest way and quickest way to do it, and let's use this hole over here so you can see. This is a leg hole. It should be at 16.5 degrees. So what you do is you take your setup block, and you notice these lines go into the direction you're drilling. That's a way to keep them straight. So I just sit here and go to 16.5. I'm on my sight line. Oops, wait, it helps if I actually do it at 16.5. So 16.5 degrees. I just hold it down there, and I put a little line at the back of the setup block here. Now I just want to extend that line so it crosses the sight line there. Then I'll put the setup block back into its traditional configuration and just use that against the sight line. And let's see here, right against the sight line and right against that mark. We just want to be just past the mark. So, because remember we made that mark at the back end of the setup block. So you got to not leave the pencil line, but go over the pencil line. So, that said, it's right there, and we are now set up to drill this at 16.5 degrees. So how do we do? Well, let's take our gauge here. It's zeroed out, and we'll put it on there, and we're at 16.5 degrees. So there you go. For more information on the jig, or if you're interested in buying the jig, visit my Etsy page. And that's just go to Etsy and look for K Barton Tools. And you can also check me out on Instagram at barton.kyle. And please feel free to watch the rest of the videos in this series outlining the capabilities of the jig. Thank you very much for watching.